I'll be honest, I have no idea like where my statistics are. Like I don't really know. Like I know where my subscribers are because like when you log in, like it's real big and black and bold. And like when I first started, like I was concerned with things like analytics and watch hours and like at this point, like I'll be honest, like I don't really care. Like I'm just having fun and like I'm doing whatever I want. Like I feel once like if I was drawing a paycheck or like say a band would pay me to do something, I would feel like I then have to do something to please them. And like I don't want to do that. I want to do it my way.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Old Music Matters Than That podcast. I'm your host, Brian. And today we'll go special guest and a fellow Pennsylvanian. We got Mike, aka the Metal Institute of Thrashology. How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing great, man. How are you? Thanks for having me on too.
No worries. Actually, the Philly audience in here too. We actually met. It was at a Cryptopsy concert, and I can remember Necrod, but I can't remember who the first two acts were that were part of that whole set list.
Spirit Adrift and Blood Monolith.
That's right, yeah. Oh yeah, Blood Monolith. That was with that female drummer too. Man, she was killing it up there.
Really, really good drum work. I was impressed with her. I'm not too familiar with Blood Monolith. But she was impressive, really impressive drummer. I have to give her credit.
I was pretty much always being like, what a woman, that whole deal. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I usually don't care. I'll be honest. I don't care what Sax or Keller or anything. Just put out riffs and just beat the shit out of the drums. That's all I care about, you know?
Hey, it's metal music, so that's what we're supposed to be doing too. So
Damn right.
so that's how we met. And then to continue on with the story, just to fill in the audience, we kind of just started talking, and then we exchanged our little podcast and YouTube channels. And after a little digging, because I had a hard time trying to find your social media links. So fortunately, you told me it was on Instagram and all that. So it's all good there.
I think I need to take some advice off you though, and maybe update some stuff. You know, go back and do a little bit of housekeeping. You know, sometimes you get in the weeds, you forget to do things like that. You know.
I'll leave it up to you, but that's how we got right here too. So I guess that's that concert. I guess what you been up to?
Uh, Nothing really. All I do is I just listen to music and write reviews, and that's it. I don't do much in life. I'm a pretty lame person, which is awesome. I just love just listening to music. That's all I do. I'm addicted. I can't help it.
Well, it's a good addiction, so we can leave it at that. So
Yeah. I've given every other vice up, cigarettes, drinking, all that kind of stuff. Now it's riffs. That's the only thing I chase.
that's cool. I guess did you get any tickets for some other shows coming to the Berg? We got Summer Slaughter, and then we also got Down coming in August.
I did see the Down, and I was thinking about getting tickets to that, but I don't know what there's a couple smaller bands that I'm into. I like a lot of Doom too. So I'm going to see, I think they're coming in September, August maybe, Crop and the Friendship Commanders at the Squirrel Hill Sports Bar. And their Crop is more like a Doom band, and Friendship Commanders, I describe them as like Smashing Pumpkins meets like the Breeders. And it's just good, fun, loving music, great grooves, and just a fun time. I'm going to see them hopefully, and I think I'm not sure if you're familiar with Pittsburgh's Lost Psycho or not. Out of I want to say Connellsville.
Not ringing any bells. Is this a Doom group here?
They, I don't know what to call them. Maybe heavy metal, maybe Doom. They have a very Sabbathy sound and just grooves, man, just really good grooves. But they're playing out at Helltown, and I can't remember who the headliner is. It's either Icarus Witch or maybe Iron Flame. I can't remember, but I'm going out there to see them, and we're pretty stoked to go check them out. You know, you got anything on besides Down?
We got Down, and then let's see, Summer Slaughter is actually coming to the Roxy. That's in September. And then Whitechapel coming back to the Roxy in November. So I got those 3 tickets right now. So I'm super stoked to see those bands again.
I don't think I know who's on the Summer Slaughter this year. Summer Slaughter. Was that the Jamie Jasta? Is Jamie Jasta doing that one this year?
It's the hate breed, but I'm mainly going to see Incantation, which I'm assuming is one of the acts in the middle there. Hopefully, the act before the headliner. So
When is
I'm curious.
when is that? I need to write that down if Incantation's there. When is that? Do you know?
It was September, and I think
All right.
it was a Tuesday. I think it was September 8th. I think it was after Labor Day, actually. But go check it out.
I will. I'm gonna definitely look that up. I think I went to Summer Slaughter last year and caught like Insight and man, just had a blast. That was a really good tour. Jamie, if you ever catch this, it's phenomenal tour. Great job. Glad you picked it up and injecting metal. Caught Fugitive there last year, so glad you're injecting some metal back into the Summer Slaughter, you know?
Does anyone want to give a shout out? Is that a Fugitive shirt you're wearing right there?
Yeah, I love Fugitive, man. And I saw Power Trip at Slayer concert last year in Hershey, and it was my first time catching both of them, man, and blown away. Great sound. I saw Power Trips in the studio, like hoping for so much more from them. I can't wait. Can't wait.
That's for sure. It's good to see they are still going because they had lost their singer a while back. And I'm not too familiar with Power Trip. I heard a couple of their songs, but it was The Executioner's Tax, which I know, I guess, is their big hit.
Yeah, they're that album. I know you texted me like a couple questions, and I was like, the album that I keep going back to is Power Trip's Nightmare Logic. It's it's just from the moment you press play to the moment you end, it's just face melting aggression and thrash metal, and it's just pure speed and aggression. And I can't. That's my album. I can't get enough of it, and I need to buy it. I need to order it. I keep saying I'm going to get it next month, and then next month rolls around and still don't have it. But that's the album, like them and Forced and Exodus is like a daily staple for me. That's like breakfast, you know.
Can never go wrong with old Gary Holt and the boys and Toxic Waltz and all that stuff. So, yeah.
I'm probably like I'm a rabid Gary Holt fan. Like everything like he's played on, his riffs are just it's just riff after riff after riff, and it just doesn't let up. And I'm so glad that they put out Goliath, and it was such a banger album. I don't think it's their best, but I think it's great. So I'll take it.
That's good to hear. But I guess speaking of Gary Holt, I guess what'd you make of him being Jeff Hanneman's replacement after Jeff had passed in Slayer?
I I wasn't. I don't know. Like I still don't know how I feel about it because like I love Gary Holt, but I love Jeff Hanneman too, and I think for Slayer, I think Henneman's a way better choice. And just because, well, I mean, to me, Henneman was like the writer of Slayer, and he had that like he had like a lot of nuances and like intricacies that like most thrashers back then didn't have. And I think if you're gonna pick a replacement, it had to be Gary or maybe Phil Demmel, but those are the only two I would be like, okay, I'm okay with that.
I guess so. But it's good to see they are going strong there too. So is Slayer still touring or are they I don't know when they're hanging it up to be honest, because it seems like they're turning into the new Kiss at this point with it's now farewell tour. Well, no, we're coming back for another farewell tour or something. So
I did see the 2018 farewell tour. I saw the 2024 Hershey show, and I think they're playing Minnesota this year and like a few like odds and ends. But I'll be honest, I didn't go to see Slayer at that show. I went to see Exodus and Power Trip. And I'll be honest, I'm a huge fan of Exodus, like huge fan. And Power Trip smoked everybody on that show. Like that was just, it was just, I couldn't get enough. And I wish I could just bottle that feeling I had up. It was just so damn good.
I want this night to never end. That whole deal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, and oh man, like it was just so good. And like I thought I'd never get to see Power Trip because like Riley passed, and I know there were some legal issues going on. And like anytime I think of legal issues, I'm like, that's just holding everything up. But I did get to catch them, and so thankful, so damn thankful I got to see them. I hope I get to do it again.
Yeah, it would be nice if they come for the Berg. Maybe I know you mentioned about Hershey, but do you know if they're on any tickets or any venues this year in the Berg?
I don't know what I have no idea what Power Trip is even up to. There's a band out of Oklahoma called She Hates Me Not, and they're young. They're like maybe 18 to 21-ish. And they kind of keep me posted on what Power Trip's doing, but I haven't talked to them because they're in the studio right now up in Chicago. And I haven't talked to them in a couple days, but they usually give me my Power Trip news, and I'm just falling behind. I'll be honest, I've been cutting so much grass for like the last month that I'm just behind on everything. It's like between the rain and the heat, like I don't know. I just can't get caught up, you know?
That's one of the things. You just walk outside last couple of days when it was like scorching heat. It was like, I'm so hot. So yeah,
I'll be honest though, like I was outside again all day today, and I was like, man, this doesn't even feel bad. But I think at one point it like got real humid, and then it started to rain, and I was like, all right, at least the rain felt good, you know, like it was nice and cool. But that's what I do. Like I have tinnitus, so I just like I'm either cutting grass or like pulling weeds, and I just listen to death metal and zone out or thrash or whatever. Just like review albums. It's like the best way to live. I love this.
I guess let's go ahead and jump into that. So let's see. The Metal Institute of Thrashology. So I guess first off, how'd you come up with the name?
I'll be honest. I didn't even I didn't come up with a name. It was my neighbor. He's Dr. Destruction if you ever see him on Instagram. And he plays guitar, and I do a little bit, but like I wouldn't say I play. Like I just make noises. And so like he helps me out with more of the technical aspect, or like if we're at a show and I have questions about pedals and harmonics and stuff, then he can answer them for me. But he came up with it, and I thought it was back then all I like used to listen to was like thrash, just thrash. And I mean, I was like into other stuff, but like 75% of the time I was listening to thrash. And then like I was at this concert, and like I had a friend I was real close with who died, and like he lived in DC, so we used to like drive back and forth and catch shows. And then I ended up meeting some of his friends, and then he died, and so some of his friends stayed in touch. Well, they came to Pittsburgh, so I ended up meeting up with them on some weird shit, and we went and caught Pantera because that was the weekend they were here. It's like Pantera 2023, 2024 maybe. And he was like, dude, you should review some records and stuff. You listen to music constantly, and you're like a wealth of knowledge. And I was like, I'm not that bright. So I didn't. And then I ended up getting in like a really bad car accident coming home from vacation. And like we were doing like 80. I rolled several times. Like I don't even know how I'm alive. Even like the people who came were like, how are you alive? So like at that moment, I had some like head trauma. And so like I couldn't remember anything. And 2 days later was Mastodon Gojira played. And so I ended up having to record like half the show at Stage AE because I couldn't remember anything. And like I was just having a lot of like problems. And I had like, I remember I set off the metal detectors, I had staples in my head. And so that's how this started. Like I recorded a show, and then like, I don't know, I was like, I'm going to review an album. And then I made like a couple videos for some bands that at first, like I think Heavy Temple was like one of the first like bigger bands I did. And I'm like embarrassed that I even sent that kind of shit over to them. But you know, you start somewhere, and here I am like 2 years later, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing, and I don't know how the hell I got here, but I'm having a blast, so let's go, you know?
I would say definitely Metal Institute of Thrashology is almost like it could be a quick crash course in a college if we wanted to. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And like at first, like I started doing a couple podcasts and stuff, and like I was like thinking of like report cards, and then I was like, you know what, this is like way too like gimmicky. I was like, fuck that. Let's just get down to like, I just want to tell people like, hey, this shit is good. Go listen to it. And that's where I'm at. I think simplicity now, like I think if I went too gimmicky, like it would come out cheesy because I'm like old and lame, you know?
Well, I can at least give you an A for being humble. I'll give you that much. So
Yeah, like I learned very early in the late 80s, 90s. It was an Operation Ivy song called Knowledge. And like the repeating theme is like all I know is I don't know nothing. So like I've been going through life that way, just like trying to ask people for help or like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. Let's work on this together. Just whatever's fun, man. I just want to have fun. Like I don't want to go to work. I don't want to do shitty stuff. I don't want to listen to shitty records. I just want to have fun and be happy, man. That's it.
Unfortunately, you need some way to keep the roof over your head and pay the gas. So that's unfortunate, but so
Yeah. I called off today, I'll be honest. So like I
did
never
you?
go to yeah, like I'm straight up honest. Like I wear everything on my sleeve. Like I tell the people I work with, they know I hate my job. I come very little. Like I'm only there because I'm like need benefits. And like you said, to like pay some bills. But like I don't want to get promoted. Like I don't want to stay overtime. Like I don't even want to work 40 hours. If I can do 20, let's do it. Because like it interferes with all of this shit. Like I have two awesome kids. Like I got my guitars here, my records. Like why would I want to go to work? You know? So I don't.
Well, it looks like you at least are you at least monetized on YouTube yet, or have you still got to work on the I guess watch hours and all that?
Yeah, like I'll be honest, I have no idea like where my statistics are. Like I don't really know. Like I know where my subscribers are because like when you log in, like it's real big and black and bold. And like when I first started, like I was concerned with things like analytics and watch hours and like at this point, like I'll be honest, like I don't really care. Like I'm just having fun and like I'm doing whatever I want. Like I feel once like if I was drawing a paycheck or like say a band would pay me to do something, I would feel like I then have to do something to please them. And like I don't want to do that. I want to do it my way. So like if a band suck, but I don't like I'm not a like if you ever watch my like people who watch my stuff, like I don't ever talk shit on people either. Because like I think there's so much art and music out there that's great and that needs like light shined on it that like I think I don't need to shit on bands. Like I'll just skip them and go find another band that needs promoted that's great. And there's so many of them that that's what I do. And I never like wanted payment. I used to ask bands because like, bands would be like, how when I first started, they'd be like, how do we compensate you or whatever? And I'd just be like, yo, give me another band that you knew that was good. Like, don't give me like, hey, they're popular, but they suck. Like, I just want a band that sounds good. And then they would just send me like a record, like, here, these guys are great, but they only have like 5 followers. And you'd be like, whatever. I don't care as long as the riff's good. And that's what I did. And like I've just been getting passed around the world. Like I've interviewed artists like I never dreamed I'd interview and like fanboyed out. But some of the best conversations I have would be like with an artist who like has no followers and is just pure passion. Like that's what I live for. Like I don't care about the money or I'm not here to get famous. Like I don't care about any of that shit. I just want riffs, man. Riffs. Keep them coming.
All right. But they can at least say he's made his motto for life there too. Just having fun and doing what he loves. So yeah.
Yeah, and like a part of the thing was like I was in a shitty work situation for like a decade. And that came to like some sort of like horrible culmination. And I knew it was coming, but the reckoning day finally came. And like I was pushing and somebody else was pushing, and we wanted to see who could push harder. And I could push harder, but it took a like it put a lot of investment and energy into a negative situation. So once that happened, and then the car accident, like I had a like some vision problems, so I had to remap my brain. And so like I got to be able to make my brain what I wanted it to be. So like when I first started, some bands would send me pure shit and you're just like, oh my god, this is the worst song I ever heard. But to me it's the worst song I ever heard because maybe it's, I don't know, like glam metal or indie folk metal or something, and it's just not for me. And like but that might be like your favorite song. So like I would try to say like, hey, like I don't like this but maybe you will, or like I started playing guitar a couple years ago just to see how hard it was. And like now I have like a new respect for the art and the people, and like I see what it all goes into it. And the more I do this, the more I see and learn. The more I learn, I just keep learning, and like I see what goes into it. And like, who am I to shit on that? You know, I'm just some fucking kid. You know.
I guess your guitar, you never really did any sort of bands or anything like during younger years or anything up until this point.
I picked up my guitar. So the dude who was like my best friend, we were roommates in the Marines, who lived in DC. He was a pianist, and we met in the Marines. And then like his father died, who owned a music shop and was this big musician in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Left him this music shop, so he had like Gary Holt guitars. He has all these signatures. So then he was like talking to me for years, like, dude, you should play. I'll teach you, blah, blah, blah. But like every time we would get together, we just get wasted and listen to metal and just talk about metal all night. And that's just what we did. Or we'd go to shows. And but I never ended up picking it up. And then like during COVID, he passed. And then that's when I was like, oh, I'll pick up a guitar now. So I picked it up in 2020, and I was getting like okay, like I could play a couple tunes, but then I got in that car accident, like fucked up my memory on my motor skills, so I had to restart again. And then I was making some good progress, but now like I'm overwhelmed in videos and stuff, and like I know I'm probably not gonna be like Kirk Hammett's replacement. So like, I just you kind of know where you're at in life, and you just kind of like settle up, like, dude, it's just all about having fun, like the journey or whatever people say. But I just, like I said, I'm having fun. Call off work, stay home to restring your guitar. Like that's what life should be.
All right. So I was trying to see. I guess for any of your episodes, whether it be a review or a podcast, do you maybe make like a little script about what you're going to discuss? And I guess maybe it starts like a little mental notes, say like, oh, this is what I had to say at this part.
The scripts, so all my shorts, I'll be honest, I write scripts for, and like my editing is because like if you ever see it, like I'll like my memory is still not strong. And I think a lot of that's because I'm like old and I bang my head a lot, and like, I've been in a lot of fights in life and things of that nature. But my kids, like, yeah, oh dude, I've been in so many with a mouth like mine, like it is what it is. But I have no memory. So like I write these scripts, and like I try to be different each time. But as far as my interviews, really, my interviews, I don't write a script for anything. And like I don't have any like questions I really want to ask. I just kind of turn on the computer and I'm like, all right, like, but I do like when I do an interview, like if you like let's just say you were Metallica, like I would go listen to each of your albums in chronological order, and like try to immerse myself as much as possible and be prepared as much as I can that way. I feel like I said, I'm chatty. So like conversation wise, like I'm good enough, I think, and knowledgeable enough. I can navigate like, a half hour conversation with a musician as long as I have like familiar with their sound.
That's cool. I guess you want to go ahead. I don't know if we're able to show the whole studio. I don't know if this is a desktop or is this on a laptop or phone.
There's not much. It's a desktop, but like there's not much, man. That's got the guitars, couple amps. I got a TV, and there's a couple windows, and that's it, man. Like it's not a high power operation, but it's effective. It gets a job done. So
Definitely.
I just yeah, like I just try to do something a little bit better every day. Like if I can get a better at editing, or maybe like lately I've been trying to active listen a little bit more and try to become even more immersed in the art. Like I don't know how to say it, but like I want to feel the art. Like I don't want to just hear it and digest music. Like I want to connect with it. And so like that's why like some bands, like it takes me longer. Like I'll have to listen to their discography longer, especially if it's a shorter discography. Like Metallica, I wouldn't be able to do it. I wouldn't be able to do their discography. But I don't. I'll be honest. I don't think I could listen to anything like the Black Album and afterwards. Like I couldn't do it.
I
Sorry,
guess maybe one
Lord.
of those. I was gonna say, were you one of those people that just dropped off after the Black Album because it got too mainstream afterwards?
Well, and like you live in Pittsburgh, like the X back in the day, like before I had an iPod, I was like a holdout on the iPod because I'm like anti-tech, anti-AI, all that shit. And which is weird, like it would start this tech shit, but whatever. And like the X used to have mandatory Metallica like all the time, and they just played Metallica so much. But I got introduced to Metallica with Ride the Lightning. This dude named Andy in Penn Hills, when I was in probably like seventh grade, gave me like Ride the Lightning. And that was the first time I heard Metallica. And I was like, oh, this is pretty good. Then he gave me Injustice for All. And I was like, I don't know. I don't like this one as much because like at the time I didn't realize like I would always say for years it felt flat to me. And now like it didn't have that depth from the bass now that I'm older and like more mature. But I didn't realize that as a kid. And so then it was like, then the Black Album came out, and I hated that like whole era of metal. Like I still don't like the Metallica album or the Megadeth. What's that? Symphony of Destruction, maybe? Is that what it's called?
I thought it was
Yeah.
like Euthanasia or something.
Nah, the one before that. Countdown to Extinction, maybe?
I think so. I thought that one was decent, but I mean, I wouldn't say it was the best one overall. But anyway,
Yeah. I don't know. Like for me, like I just don't like that whole like genre, like that whole period. Like I don't like the Exodus albums from that period. I don't like, but like, so then like everything, like when you discover like Ride the Lightning is your intro, like everything after that, you're just like, this isn't, can't hold a candle to it. And then like the first couple albums, like I still love Kill 'Em All and Master of Puppets. But like they were played so much on the radio that like I probably haven't like chosen a Metallica album to listen to in 10, 20 years. Like I except like if somebody's like, hey man, what do you think of Ride the Lightning? And I'm like, I should go back and revisit it and just freshen up. But then you listen to it, but like I've listened to Ride the Lightning, and I'm not saying it's a bad album. It's great. And it's phenomenal. There's nothing flawless, but like I think I just heard it so much. I'm just like I'm good, like I'm good. Like, and if they would have had a better drummer, like if they would have had a Dave Lombardo or a Joey Jordison, then I would have been like, yeah, I'm sold. But to me, it's like the same drums on every album. It felt to me. Sorry, Lars. I'm sorry. He's a great businessman, though.
apparently a little bit of a profit too with the whole thing with Napster and all that sort of stuff that happened.
It was really weird. Like I met some kid. We went to this Pantera show, and I met this like my buddy from DC, but he was there with a bunch of guys I didn't know. A couple of them were from like upstate, and one of the dudes who was there, and I don't remember his name, or I'd shout him out. He got like sued by Metallica. Like he had actually gotten like a letter. He was telling me the whole story about it. How like in the 90s, he thought he was real cool because like he got this letter from Metallica, like we're fucking suing you. And he was like all excited and proud. And but I was thinking, I was like, man, that, like at the time I was like, I'm poor, let's steal music. But now that I'm older and wiser, and like Lars was just, man, ahead of the times. What a mind, like business strategy wise, like, man, like you said, prophetic, I guess. So smart.
I'd also give a shout out to Prince because it was both Lars, Prince, and maybe a few others there in the mix there too. But you get the idea.
I think maybe besides Gary Holt, I am Prince's like second favorite fan. Like I love Prince, and like I've gotten into arguments with like old ladies at my daughter's ballet over Prince, and like I did. She was wrong. She said she used to be like her boyfriend was like her best friend or something was like the manager of Prince's fan club. I was like, I don't care who he is. You're wrong. Like it is. Prince is killer. Love him.
Hey, rest in peace.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a shame there too. So, oh well, let's give a shout out to Metallica. We can't deny their influence of what they did in the 80s there. But I've always felt bad with Injustice for All, but I guess it's also because they did injustice, pun intended, for I know Cliff wasn't on that album anymore there too. So Jason Newsted came in there too, and they practically quote unquote silenced him, to say the least. So
Yeah. But if you really think about it, because like half of my brain is like, that album, like, it just doesn't sound good to me. And like purposely it doesn't sound good. Like they took that out. But at the same sense, like if you think about it, that was like late 80s. They probably were in their like, I would still say early 20s, maybe mid 20s. I don't know. Early to mid 20s. You're in the 80s in like, I think it was Russia, maybe. I can't remember where the accident was, but it
Belarus.
was at, it was where?
Belarus. I think it was Belarus, Russia, where the bus accident happened that took Cliff's life there. So yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
anyway.
like I guess like if you're like mid 20s in Belarus and like you're just drinking and partying and having fun with your friends, and then all of a sudden one of your friends is gone and your bandmate and a cornerstone of your writing, and like they didn't come back to the States and like, hey, we're gonna take like 6 months off and go to therapy and get some grief counseling, and like nobody did that in the 80s. So these were like a bunch of dudes who like had to go on in like a shitty circumstance. And then like you're also like, you are like at that time you're the height of the pinnacle of success. Like there wasn't, I don't think there was a band as big as that, maybe like Maiden and Priest, but like to just come back and like have to put out an album like immediately and like to just keep plowing ahead. Like I'll be honest, while I didn't like that album, for the circumstances that they put that album in, I don't think it could have gotten much better. I mean, that it's a great album, and I could only imagine how difficult it would be to even process and deal with those type of situations, let alone going into writing a whole new album.
Yeah. I still remember the first song that got me into Metallica. No
What was
Remorse
it?
from Kill. No Remorse.
Okay, so what do you think of Metallica or Megadeth? Who do you pick?
I think Megadeth, to their credit, at least kept some of their craft in their later works. Maybe not all the time, because I know you mentioned some of the 90s were cheesy or cringy or whatever to say the least. But I think the recent last couple albums, they at least kept their thrash formula they had. That was like Rust in Peace or Peace Sells, that sort of stuff.
I What'd you think of the self-titled, the final chapter? What'd you think of that one?
Uh, Interesting. I mean, it's going to be Dave Mustaine, so you might as well go over a bang to say the least.
Yeah, and I feel like I hate shitting on bands, but I feel if you're like Megadeth and Metallica, you're probably not gonna even ever know who I am anyway, so you can take it. I think Dave went. This was a Dave Mustaine solo album. Like you have Timu Manasari and like so underutilized in that role, and you're just like, you could have like, he's like Marty Friedman level, maybe a little less in my book, but man, that could have like, you could have really smoked that album, and it just felt like we're going through the motions. We just want to close it out and be done. And like, I get it if that's your thing, but like, dude, you're fucking Megadeth. You're not like Creed, or like I
I
mean,
mean,
I don't know. If you're a
I,
Creed fan, I'm not, but like, I don't know.
I mean, I have respect for some of the songs. I mean, I still like One Last Breath. So yeah.
I'll, that's another one. Like, I was like, I don't think Creed would like. I would not like them as much. I don't like Creed, but I think I really don't like Creed because of just the amount I've heard Creed. Like, I don't think their music's like. Same with Nickelback. I wouldn't say their music's like really like. It's not for me. Like, it's not my sound, but I wouldn't say it's bad music. Like it's just not bad, but it's just like you've heard it so much, you're just like, come on, man, give me a break. Like it's Creed. It's Creed. It's not Exodus, it's Creed. Like
I'd agree more so Nickelback just because I think it was Saving Me they played so many times that one day on the radio. So, I mean, I
like
was like, please make it stop.
and like there's been tons of metal songs that like just the X, because I worked construction for a while and we used to have radios all the time, and it was like the same songs. And then like I'll be 46 this year. So I've been listening to the X for a long time, but the playlist is the exact same as it was when I was in high school. And I'm like, come on, man. Like, I get it. Like, like, sure, Metallica had some great songs, and so did Bush, and like those bands. But yeah, it was like the fucking '90s. X, get your shit together. You know?
You're missing out on all the indie bands as well as other metal acts that are out there too. Maybe they aren't as big as them, but they're still kicking ass. That sort of thing.
Yeah, and like, I remember they used to have a local show, and I don't remember what it was called. But there's so many local acts that are like just good. I mean, there's some that are like to me are mind-blowingly good, and there's some that are just like, damn, that's a solid band. And like the fucking X is missing out on it. And like I just saw, because I just saw that like DVE posted something about Kid Rock. And I'm like, dude, you're posting about Kid Rock. We have a like emerging music scene here with like killer bands. And you want to put that Kid Rock on like as your promotion? Like, come on, man. Like, you're a rock station. He's not even rock. Like, he's just, it's in his name. That's it.
Well,
Oh,
that and then he also used like I think like his hit song there too, "Sweet Home Alabama." It was like using the riffs from Leonard Skinner and Warren Zenoff kind of mixed into one right there. That's pretty much made his hit song there too.
what's it called? Sweet Home?
I thought it was a I always forget too. I hear it all the time, and it was like singing "Sweet Home Alabama" all summer long.
I'll try
So
it out.
if you have it there, that's Kid Rock though. I'm just saying. So
Yeah, I just, one of the PR companies I work with, and I think she thought like I was fucking with her, but I didn't know. Like, I didn't know who Evanescence was until maybe like 6 months ago. And she was like blown away that I never heard her. And I was like, oh man, I really like these guys. Like, I really liked the Amy something's voice. Like, I really liked it, and I was like, man, she's really good. And they were
maybe
like,
late.
yeah, dude. Yeah, they were like, she's in a huge band. They're real popular. I was like, no.
I was like, "What? Do you live under a rock?" Was that what her response was? So
It's like it's literally like that for me. Like, I've gone to the point now where I don't. I either listen to like my records, or the only time I really like look for anything like new and search for anything is if I'm like interviewing a band or I have to ride to like work. But I do is listen to promos now. Like, I get so many, and like it's kind of cool because I feel like I can immerse myself in the music, which is the same as like a new release, but then I can help somebody while I'm doing it, whether it be the artist that I'm like trying to like promote their stuff, or whether it's a fan to like discover new stuff. Like, I have like a playlist on my YouTube called Distorted Discoveries, where I try to put like a couple times a week, maybe like 4 or 5 days. I just put a new song up every day of an artist, and anything from like emo and instrumental indie rock from Nigeria, or like whatever, like to the most extreme slam, like kill your mother type shit. Like, I just put it all on there because like, while it may not be for me, like it could be for somebody else. And if you discover like metal through Blink 182, like, I don't care. Like, you're into metal, let's go. Or like, if you like Ghost, I hate Ghost. Like, I don't hate Ghost. I just don't like them. Like, I've tried a million times, and like everybody will tell you, like, oh, you gotta check out that one song. And I just don't like them. It's just not for me. I'm not shitting on the band or anything, but if that's what gets you into, like mutagenic host or whatever, like shit you find next, like, yeah, that's what it's all about. Let's just have as much fun and be happy and free.
I guess what sort of equipment do you kind of use when you're putting your episodes together? I see the mic, and then I don't know if you use the TV or anything. And I guess what do you got on your computer in terms of editing?
I basically use CapCut for long form, and I pretty much started using edits just for shorts. I was using something else. I don't remember. But I like CapCut. I like the user interface for that. It's just, I guess, what I'm used to. I have other programs, and I've taken classes like on like Apple offers a lot of classes. Like, I have a MacBook, so they'll offer classes on like how to edit through iMovie, or how to take professional film with like your phone. So like, I have like some upgraded lenses and stuff like that. which is weird because like at concerts, these people have these like big ass rigs, and like I just have this little iPhone, and it looks very unprofessional, but I don't really care. Like I don't care at all.
Hey, it gives a clearer picture there too, so I haven't got to check either. I've taken a good amount of shots of all the concerts I've been to recently.
Yeah, and like what I didn't learn was, so I took a class on like how to use the exposures and like framing and things of that. Like my wife has like she was a photographer for a while, so she has like some of it, but my wife is so busy that like she doesn't have time to like really help me. So like I took that class just to figure it out. My like that I knew enough to know I didn't know shit, and that I needed to figure out like something. And so that's what I did. And so now, like when I'm at shows, like now I'm like it's probably only been like 6 months, but I'm getting better. And like some of my stuffs are framed nice, and you can catch the light the way you want it, and you're like, all right. But that goes back to like every day I try to do something a little bit better, just be a better person, whatever.
That's for sure. So I guess this one can delve into challenges here too, but I guess doing this YouTube thing and everything too, as well as reviews and interviews and stuff. Have you felt like you faced any challenges? You think maybe it's more so what goes on in daily life?
Hmm. Sometimes the challenges feel is one, but there never is. There's not enough time in the day for anything. And I do a lot of like I'm a homebody, so like I really enjoy the outdoors. So like I cut a lot of grass, but there's like some people in the neighborhood. Like there's a widow who lives like two doors down. So like I help like, cut her grass, and there's a guy with MS. And so like I do his stuff. So now that like it's the heat of summer, like and now that the channel and the podcast and these things are growing, like it's just everything is more time demanding. And the older we get, the longer it takes me to do things too, because I'm fucking old and banged up. Sometimes though, like sometimes because I don't plan and I don't have like a agenda going in, I've come across some interviews where like the guest isn't as talkative as I would like them to be. And so it becomes a challenge to even get through a half hour with certain guests. Like I've had a guest who you could tell completely didn't want to talk to me at all. And like I don't know if like his like wife divorced him like before he came on the screen, but like I don't know, it was a struggle. And like you know but it's like, hey, if my biggest struggle like dude, I've been through the service, I've been through some shitty jobs, I've been through some shitty life situations. If my biggest problem is like I gotta like struggle to get through a half hour like conversation with a dude about something I love, like yeah, I'm cool. Or like sometimes I'll do a video, and you can tell that like I'll do a review for a band, and then like I'll send it over, and the band will be like, oh, is that it? And you're like, yep, sorry, man. Hey, fucking fell flat. I don't know what to say. Sorry. But again, like I don't get fucking paid. So it is what it is. Like you don't like my shit? I don't care. I tried. Like, and I get it. Like a lot of other people have said I'm fake because I'm like real hyper and I'm like fucking move around. But you can see like that's how I am. Like I'm just a fucking crazy dude. I don't know. But like it just is what it is.
I guess so. I think mostly if they're saying it's a hyper situation or something that looks too good to be true, they're going to definitely say it's AI. So actually,
I
I
don't
think I'll
use
change it.
I do take that back. I do use AI, but I only use AI. I use Chat GPT because I'm not smart enough. And every time I do a fucking upgrade on or is that what they're called? Updates. When I do like an update on my iPhone, every now and then, or like on the MacBook, you have so many fucking apps now that every app will tweak something just enough that you can't find something. So I will go on like ChatGPT and I'll ask it like, "Hey, I'm trying to do this in my MacBook. Where can I find like I don't know, like in Canva if I'm trying to make a thumbnail?" Yeah, that's how I fucking type too. Like I don't know how to type, but like I'll ask it like, hey, I'm trying to make a thumbnail, but like I can't find they have like a little replace button for like when you're trying to swap out pictures. And for a while they kept moving it on my app. So then like when I would try to log in on the desktop, it would be all set up differently. So then I have to go into like Chat GPT and be like, where's this button at? So I do use it for that, but I don't use any AI in like my scripts. I don't use anything filming. Like I don't even know if AI can film. Like I don't use filters either. Like I don't use any kind of that over not overlays. Like I'll use an overlay where you like bring a picture in and like put it on top. But I don't know, whatever AI does, I don't fucking know because I don't use it. But that's the only thing I use it for. Or maybe I'll ask it like some crazy shit like how many songs came out last year? And then it'll tell you like 270,000 are uploaded a day. But the problem is now, like, you can't just go into Google and just be like, hey, Google, this is what I want to know. And Google uses AI, and the AI answer comes up now. So you're like, what the fuck do I do? Like, because, like, I don't agree. I'm like a huge hippie when it comes to resources. So, like, I don't like that AI is like using all the water and like driving our bills up and all that shit. So it's like, I don't want to use AI to ask it like what's the phone number to Pizza Hut or you know what I mean? I don't need AI for that. But like if you go to Google and you'd like type in like, hey, what's the Pittsburgh Pizza Hut's phone number? Fucking AI pops up and you're like shit. But I do review music on like 2 or 3 different websites and I have a hard no AI policy, like literally written the top of my profile, I have an asterisk and it says no AI. So like if I even every song that I agree to like work with that artist, I will go to their Instagram page and like Facebook and I'll look for like live shows, like live photos or like something like in a live setting. And there's been a few artists where like I thought they were AI, and I'll be honest, if I think you're AI, I'm just laying into you. So I've sent some like shitty reviews, and then the artist will write back like, "Hey, I'm a real artist. Here's my shit." And then like we'll work something out. Like, "Hey, I'm sorry. I thought you were a computer. My bad. You should be a little bit better." Like me, I should have been better about my links. They should have been better about like not, having some real human being pictures, and that's important to me. And so like that's my thing though.
I was actually going to get off a tangent because there was one little Instagram little reel I saw, and the guy was like walking around Iceland, or it might have been close to like Old Faithful, wherever it was, and he was just holding it beside me like, "This is AI," that whole deal, because it was showing like the geysers and all that sort of stuff kind of shooting off there too. So it was meant to be a
Yeah,
nice joke there too, but it was actually pretty clever. So
it is, but like and like because I'm so like I'm vocal and like I don't give a fuck who I offend, like in my personal life, my family, my boss, like I don't give a fuck. If you don't like me, just stay away from me. And so like people online will say like this is the greatest song I just made in AI, and I'm like, you didn't make shit. You stole all the stuff from other people before you, and your song still sucks. And I ended up talking to Joey Vera, the bassist of Armored Saint, and we were talking about AI and production, and like a lot of times AI lends itself to feel sterile and like very lifeless to me, because like the things I like grittier production. I like more blackened tones. I like gain. So like I like when your vocals are breaking apart, or like the riff is like everything feels unhinged, or I like that little nuance of human it. Like you might have held that note a little too long or a little too short, or those are the things I like. So when you give me something that's just straight up precision, scrub clean, high production, like it'll actually make the song sound worse for me. And like Joey said the same thing. He was saying back in the 90s they realized that, and that's why like they worked so hard to keep their production the way it was. And I was like, wow, like I thought maybe it was just like a me thing, like I'm very particular and peculiar or whatever. So
I guess speaking of which, was Joey probably one of your favorite interviews you've done so far? And I guess what would you say has been your favorite album that you either reviewed or have currently in your collection?
hmm. I don't don't know. Like I've interviewed some guests that I was like Brian Tatler from Diamond Head. Um, I really had a nice talk with him, and we actually talked about Metallica, and we were talked about. I think it would have been really cool if Diamond Head and Metallica did a double disc release, and Diamond Head covered all, like, say, I don't know, 8 to 10 Metallica songs, and Metallica covered 8 to 10 Diamond Head songs, because he was telling me about the friendship with Lars and like how they're still in, contact or whatever. I thought that'd have been really cool. But like every interview, some of the interviews my favorite interviews have been like bands that nobody's like. One was like Infernal Instinct. They're a band from Des Moines, Iowa, and they're very small. And they just played here in Ormsby's basement. And it was just such a great time meeting somebody so passionate or so I interviewed a guy yesterday from the Netherlands, and like, man, it was just so passionate. His band's called Anomic, and I'll post that one up next week. But like that's I don't know. I can't pick one because like some of them are good. Like I interviewed this band from Germany, a thrash band called Disaster, and the guy was just like, I don't know if he was drinking beer or whatever, but it was like a party. We had so much fun. And then he was like, fuck it. Like, do you want to do more? And I was like, yeah, I don't care. So then like we ended the interview and had to log back in and then piece it together and like shit like that. Like, I don't know. I just try to have fun. If it's not fun, I'll just be like, look, dude, I gotta bounce. See you. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I think I would interview like don't take this the wrong way because I don't really know you, but like I would interview you and treat you the exact same as I would, like, I don't know, if I was interviewing the president. I probably wouldn't interview him because I'm not like a fan, but yeah, I would rather interview you. I'd probably treat you with more professionalism than I would him, or like somebody of his stature. I just don't care. Like I don't have fanboy moments really. Like I just think we're all humans. We're all equal, man, woman, whatever. I don't care. Just give me a riff. Some riffs are better than others, but I don't know. All the people sing the same.
That remains, but it's also based on what you hear through here too. So
Yeah,
chase their own, as I say normally goes. So
yeah. But I think that's what's the great part about art. Like that Infernal Instinct was the most played song, most streamed song I had last year. It was my number one. And the second most streamed song was this band called Sparrows from Dallas, Texas. To me, I'll take those two songs on repeat. Ghost Ships of the Abyss, and they had this other song for Infernal Instinct was Transcending Madness. And I could have just had those two songs on repeat 365 days. I don't need anything else. And like you could have been like, hey, I'll give you the Slayer. And I'd be like, no, I'm good. I don't want that riff right now. I want this. And that's just how I am. I'll blow off like, I don't know, free tickets to Iron Maiden to go see like a little hole in the wall band just because I think they're cool, if that makes sense. Or
I was just honored to see Iron Maiden when they came during 2024. I actually went with my dad, and they had another band called, it was The Who, but not what you think. It was a Mongolian sort of band they had going there too. So that was interesting.
Yeah, some guy got very upset with me in the parking garage elevator because I didn't like The Who. And I said the same thing. I was like, you know what? They're not for me. Like they're a good band, and I think they were extreme. What I think they're Mongolian. And I was like, I think they're different, and they're good different. Like, I mean, they're not like anybody else. And like, I'm not saying they didn't have skill or anything. I just didn't personally like it. And I didn't think that personally, like I'm nobody special, but like I don't think they were a good pairing with Iron Maiden. I think that was like to me, it didn't work. Like I would have liked somebody like Saxon or, somebody of that. But they chose to go otherwise. And you know what? They had every right to do that because Iron Maiden is way more fucking popular than I'll ever be.
I would say it was Bruce Dickinson's fault. It sounds like it would be something he would do to pull in a band such as The Who into the group.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, as soon as like I saw that, I was like, that's a Dickinson move. But I I did love I liked some stuff about the Who. Like I did. I just didn't like they seem to be very like bass oriented. Like a lot of their sound was like more tribal bass. And just I didn't think it was a good pairing for Maiden. It's not a band I would go out and like purchase their album, but like, I think they were a good opener. Like I wasn't like, oh man, they suck. But like, they were all right. Just I would have preferred like Saxon or Priest or somebody of that stature.
That definitely would have been interesting, but oh well. I'll go with horns up and all that sort of stuff. So
Yeah.
we strongly encourage him. Keep going strong, the Who. The other Who, I
Yeah.
should mention. So yeah. So we don't get mixed up with the British ones.
Like
So, yeah.
I like how the regular Who though, and I don't know her name because I'm not like old school the Who. I'm not like a diehard fan of theirs, but I don't know their drummer's name they pick up. But I really was impressed with. I saw a couple videos of her, and I was really impressed with her. And she had some huge shoes to fill, and a lot of naysayers, and she seemed to like do pretty damn good.
Was that a Rush? How about Rush picked up a female drummer? That's what I thought they were doing.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Right. Sure was Rush. You're right. Yeah, that's not a big like genre that I'm well versed in. We'll put that way. I'm not fans of any of that kind of stuff, like the Who or Chicago or Styx or Journey. Just it was nothing I was ever introduced to till later in life. My roommate loved it, and I used to tell him like, if you play that fucking Journey CD one more time, like there's gonna be problems. But like I'll listen to anything but like that kind of stuff, and I don't like country music, but I'll do classical, jazz, blues. I was raised on the blues and jazz.
I guess speaking of which, I guess even in terms of concerts, have you strictly stuck in around the Berg with the various locations, or have you done concerts in like other states or even in Europe?
Um, we've driven to like states around here. It's very hard for me to get to shows, even in Pittsburgh. Like, I don't know where, like, what section of Pittsburgh you live in, but like, I live out east and I live out past Preserving. And while Preserving has like a killer band every night, like, it's even a struggle for me to get there. Like, I have two very, very active children. Like, my one child, she's been out of town since Saturday, Sunday. I don't think she's coming home until tomorrow or Thursday. I don't know. But it's really hard for me to get to shows. But we have traveled, like we've caught Priest in Youngstown. I've caught a ton of shows down in DC, like At the Gates, Arch Enemy, Merciful Fate. Like we drove there. I'll go to Canada or wherever. It depends who the band is. But again, like Grave Ripper, I don't know if you're familiar with them. They were playing, and I want to say they were playing like Indianapolis or like somewhere like far, Columbus or something. I was like, fuck, I'll drive 5 hours to see them. But if it was like Judas Priest, I'd be like, oh man, I think two's good. Anything after two's too far. It depends who it is.
Actually, here's one for you. And I think it was back in 2010 right there too. It was actually my first time traveling to Europe, and we ended up in Salzburg, Austria. And,
Oh wow.
But this was actually, we saw a poster for Job for a Cowboy and As I Lay Dying. That was back when they had Tim LaBasses as their singer.
Yeah.
And we were able to see that. That was my first metal show I ever been to.
Okay. So As I Lay Dying, who was the first band?
Job for a Cowboy.
Oh man, I never saw them. I'd like to see them. I was an As I Lay Dying fan. They had an album that came out. I was a record store when I was in the Marines, like stationed in North Carolina for a while. And there was a record store there, and I made friends with the dude, but it was like an all metal. And he would like pull CDs off to the side for me and my roommate. And like every payday, because we got paid the 1st and the 15th, everybody knew in a military town. So he'd have stacks of CDs for us. Like, here, these are the ones I thought you'd be good. When I was a kid, they had National Record Mart, Monroeville Mall. Like the dude there used to he just gave me tapes. I'm sure it was stealing, but I didn't know, and nor did I care at the time.
I guess first off, thank you so much for your service there, Pete.
Oh, man. It's a long story, but I'm not proud and I'm not happy.
Was that like one of your dark ages, or I guess what were you doing in the Marines at the time?
Um, it wasn't really I wouldn't say a dark age. Like I never went to war. I got lucky, and my entire unit deployed and went to war without me, and I got left behind. But it's just like I didn't like. I'm not a big like war guy, you know. Like I think war's bad, and I disagree a lot with like regime power, like oppression, things like that. The Marines is not a good place. Like if you're like a thinker and like you think of things, like the Marines isn't a good place for like free thinking and free thought. So they weren't a big fan of me, but like I wasn't a big fan of them. Like we kind of just worked together. They didn't like me, I didn't like them, but I knew I couldn't be fired. So like I did what I wanted and like basically just like drank beer and listened to death metal. Well, back then it was more like early metalcore, not so much death metal.
Like it was your first, I guess, old school death metal at this point, because I guess you did say you were into the thrash, that sort of stuff. Was it more so like the Morbid Angel, Deicide, Obituary, and those sorts of groups?
I think probably like Cannibal Corpse, maybe. I had a neighbor who was like really into. I don't remember. Like, I'm not a huge death metal dude, so like I don't really know like what songs off of what album. Everything like I always tell bands when I interview them, like if your album came from like the year 2010 or before, I probably don't know any song names. I know everything by like track 6, track 9, but like song 4 on whatever Cannibal Corpse album it was, and I picture the cover of it, and it had that song. I think it was called like "Stripped, Raped, and Strangled" or something like that. Strangulation causing death. But whatever that song is, that was probably like the first death metal I really started getting into. But I was more into like I first started with like Sabbath, Maiden, stuff like that. And then I got into like thrash. I met a Brazilian. I went to Penn Hills. I met a Brazilian dude who was a foreign exchange student. He got me into Sepultura, and then I got into punk rock a lot, like a lot of underground punk, and then into like early metalcore, like Poison the Well, Shai Hulud type stuff, Shadows Fall, things like that. Then into like hate. Well, I was always into hate breed since high school. I was into like hardcore punk in high school too, like Sick of It All, that kind of stuff. But when I went to Penn Hills, I grew up listening to hip hop too. So like I know just as much about like 80s and 90s hip hop, like Tribe Called Quest, Tupac, like Sugar Hill Gang, Curtis Blow, like all that kind of stuff too. So like I don't know. I listen to everything. If it sounds good, I'll listen to it. I don't give a shit what it is. Just keep it coming.
That's been his motto throughout the whole show right here too. So yep.
Keep the riffs coming. And like people reach out, like, and I tell people, like, please, I'm so slow and I'm always backed up. So sorry, and please be patient. But like bands will like always like, hey, I'm sorry we're burying you. And I'm like, you're not. Like, I'm buried in riffs. Like, this is the best problem I ever had. Like, I never dreamed as a kid, like I would be on the internet and some band from fucking Indonesia can send me their song like now. And then I just plug my shit in and go. Like I remember as a kid, like as a hip hop fan, my one buddy, Jamar Hubbard, if you're out there, I love you. Haven't talked to you in about 30 years. But his brother used to bring back tapes from college and we used to high speed dub. And I remember like taking pencils and winding tapes and like I mean, that's where like as a music critic or whatever, you hear all these people like, oh, music sucks, there's no metal. Like, dude, fuck you, man. Music rules, dude, and there's so much good shit out there. Get off your ass and look for it. All you have to do is like turn on YouTube. There's me or you or 100 other motherfuckers just telling you what is great. And like how much more could you want from people? Like, I mean, like literally, do you want me to come to your house and put a record on for you? Like, what do you want me to do? But I don't know. I think there's so much art and to be surrounded by it. Like, it's beautiful. Like, that's to me what life. And I'm in this point, like right now, where I'm really happy. Like, and I have all this art and like I haven't been to work in quite some time. And like, yeah, everything's great, you know, like it's great. What's there to be mad about, you know?
That's for sure, though, too. So I guess out of all the metal that you have kind of stored in your shelves right there, is there a particular art piece from one of the bands that kind of always stood out? I see one back there with the vine. I don't know if that's Mutagenic Host.
Yeah, this one's mutagenic. I think like the art that I like, the first piece of art that really grabbed me was Seventh Son of the Seventh Son. That made me buy. That's what got me into Maiden, I think, was the artwork from Derek Riggs. But now, like, I'm into more simplistic things like Carcass. I don't know if you're familiar with the Torn Arteries album, but it has that like vegetable heart on the cover. And like, I don't know if you have Apple Music or Spotify or however they do it, but you have those motion arts now on streaming, and like to watch it decay and turn black and rot. And I'm just like, that's what I love, you Carcass, you know? But even like on the Surgical Steel, I used to work in like the operating room down at Presby. So they have all those tools like laid out. And like I look at those and I'm like, to me, like I think it's even cooler because I know what all those tools are used for and I've seen them used, and like, which is why like I'm not into death metal and like extreme or even like grindcore. Like I don't like all that like mutilation and like blood and brains, and like it bores me, to be quite honest with you. It really does.
I'll say Cryptopsy, back then, in the very beginning, when they had Lord Worm as their vocalist, they had one song, it was Open Face Surgery right there, too. So I was spoiling the details. So if you haven't heard the song, check it out.
Yeah, there was, so when I worked in the operating room, I was familiar with that. And there was a person, and this person had this part of her skull missing. Okay. And they had film over it, obviously, to like protect the wound. They were doing some sort of brain surgery. And like, I remember this person was in a wheelchair and they were awake. And like, you know, like you're an employee, so you can't be like, holy fuck, you know? Like, but like you see this shit and you're just like, wow. And like it was cool because I worked with like a lot of older women who were like awesome, and they would come get me like, you're never going to see anything like this in your life again, come check this out. And like I would go look at it, and sometimes it would just be the most grotesque and gruesome thing, whereas like whatever a song is singing about, like when you actually like see it and stuff, you're like, you're not, like the shock value isn't there anymore, you know? And I did that for years. Like at one point I was cleaning the instruments, and so like there would be pieces of brain, bone, whatever, vessels you'd be pulling out of a bowl. And you just get to the point you're just like, I don't know. It's like hammer, like strangulation causing death. You're like, yeah, whatever, you know, like I just had 8 hours of this.
I guess so. But I guess all the bands you either reviewed or had interviewed, outside maybe Armored Saint and even Diamond Head, I guess, have they mostly been what they considered independent, or are they kind of in between where they have like a decent following, but they're not big Metallica like?
The Infernal Instinct, I think when I interviewed them, I don't know how many followers they had, but it was small, and they've grown quite a bit. But I reached out to them like, this song is so fucking good. All I want to do is talk to you about the song. Like I don't, like I said, I don't really care about like analytics, and like I just wanted to find out like, why did you, like, to me the song felt like two songs in one. So all I wanted to know was, why did you stop? Like why didn't you just continue like with a bridge? That's the only reason I reached out to them to like interview them. And since then, like we've talked and we've met at shows, like they've come played here, and like it's been like a wonderful friendship, if you want to call it that. Like I don't really know them, like I don't know you. But like that was like really cool. But then I mean I've interviewed like Joe Stump, Rivers of Nile, like uh I don't know, a bunch of other bands like Insight, or uh like all different kinds of stuff. Like, I don't know. There's a long list. Like one of my favorites was it was my third interview. Henry Sattler from God Dethroned. He was a great interview, and like I'll be honest, like we still message each other like a little bit back and forth, and like, you know, like I've helped him on some things, he's helped me on some things, and like that's what I'm seeking. Like it's great. Like, and I do chase riffs, and that's all I want is a riff. And like I think it's cool if I can meet somebody who's going to help me, and like I want to help people who help me, and I don't want to help people who are negative towards me. That's just like how I operate my whole life. And so like I try to do that with this too. Like, hey, like if I think you're a dude who's doing the right things, like you're posting every day and like, yeah, like I'd love to work with you. You know, you have the same like mindset as me. But if you're that band who's complaining like you have no traction and like you haven't posted in like 6 months, like you haven't released an album in 5 years, and like, I mean, that was maybe like a little harsh. I'm not that like mean, but like, I don't know. Like if you're an asshole, I just don't want to help you. You know, there's plenty of assholes out there.
Yeah, I guess so. So that's a good thing there too. So, all right. But
Yeah.
I guess,
So like, I mean, I'm having just as much fun talking to you as I did like, I don't know, Brian Tatler from Diamond Head. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I had a blast talking to him, and like Cyrith Ungol, that was a really good interview I had too, and that was a lot of fun. But like I've interviewed artists from like Morbid Miserable, Metal Blade, Third House Communications, like a ton of different Magnetic Eye, like all kinds of different labels, or but like I just treat everybody and everything the same.
that's cool. I guess, more so plans for this year. I guess is going to keep winging it and see how it goes. Keep reaching out, just do what you do.
Yeah. I like I'm yeah, I don't have much plans. And I feel like because a lot of my plans revolve around someone else's plan. So like, and I'll just pick like Diamond Head. If Diamond Head's putting out an album like this week, then it's something I'm probably gonna like try to work on because I like Diamond Head. I have the promo, and like they like obviously they're not releasing an album. I don't want anybody to get hyped. But like if I can have the stuff and I can help you and I enjoy it and it's something fun for me to work on, then like yeah, I'll do it. But if you're a band, like some bands will like they'll send me like an album like now and be like, hey man, this drops tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Can you get a video together? And you're like, no, I can't. Like I can't film and edit, and they'll be like, what the fuck, dude? You're an asshole. And I'll just be like, okay, cool. Like just fucking don't reach out anymore. I don't know what to tell you.
So yeah, I'm not that
So
quick.
like,
I can definitely do what I can.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah. So it's just like any job. Like if I was a baker, a lot of people are gonna love my cupcakes, but there's gonna be quite a few who'd be like, that guy sucks. I'm like, I don't care. Like I really don't. Like I don't really care what anybody thinks of me. Like if you like me, that's cool. And if you don't, that's cool too. But like let's just not bother each other. Like if you don't like me, that's cool. I'll stay over here, you stay over there, and we'll just keep it cool. Like I just try to live like everything real simple because I don't think I'm that smart. So I try to simplify everything. And like, hey, you're a bad person. I don't want to be around you. You're a good dude. Yeah, let's go. You know, or that's how I ended up like talking to you. You just talking to the show. I was like, fuck yeah, dude, this guy seems all right. Let's go. Like, and that's how I operate my whole life. That's how I met my wife and had kids and everything.
let's say you're quite the smooth talker back in the day. So yeah, you definitely say
I
that.
always I always tell her like I should I you would have think I slipped something in her drink because I don't deserve what I have, you know. She's a great wife and I have two phenomenal kids and like I'm so happy, like so happy. Every like you see so many people have bad situations and miserable shit. My biggest problem is Metallica didn't like my video I made for them. Like whatever, man. Like I'm fine.
Yeah, I say that's the least of my worries in that case. So all right,
Yeah.
keep going strong there, brother.
Just
All
trying
right.
to live life, dude.
That's all you can do really at this point, especially in this fucked up world there too. So
Well, man, I'm gonna have to wrap it up though.
you got time for one more question?
Yeah, I got time for one more. I just got to
Oh,
get. That's cool. Just do the one question. We'll figure it out.
all right. Actually, I was going to ask if you had any questions for me, but we'll go ahead and jump into the last one. So
I can always have you on my podcast, dude. We can do it again.
I'll let you do it there too. So we'll talk on Instagram then. But
Let's do
all
it.
right. All right. So for the purpose of time right here, excuse me. All right. So for the last question right here, I don't really like to ask this, and this one might be a little bit deep here too, but here's how it goes. Get amount of negativity that you're seeing going on in the world these days through social media, the news, even events going on here in the world as well. These days, people need some sort of hope. So what would be your message of hope for musicians and people out there so they can try to move forward with their lives?
I think like, and it's not just musicians. Like I think it's hard for me as somebody who is like listen to punk rock and like there's no future since like the day I was born. Hope isn't one of my stronger points. But if I had to give musicians a piece of advice, don't take your fans, your contacts, and the people who support you for granted, because so often I was thinking today, like, and I was thinking about the Banana Man hardcore scene fucking drama and how stupid it is when it's all said and done. I don't, I was thinking today a lot about hardcore because I was listening to some like Sick of It All and stuff. And I was thinking like I never really liked hardcore because like a lot of the fans are very aggressive and aggro and very like I want to put hands on people. And I don't like that. And so like I was thinking today about End It. And I don't want to judge End It or their front man or their band or anything of that, nor do I want to judge Banana Man. Like, I don't know all the dynamics and what took place. You have their two views and then those people there, but none of us really know the whole context of the situation, how the night was going. Was Banana Man a huge fan? Who knows? But the point is, like, End It directed and it put one of their fans or one of their concert goers, a paid person, like on the spot. And I felt like as a band and as a person who struggles like every night I sit down and I get these fucking arthritic fingers over strings and I suck. And you're on a stage and like it sucks and you're sweating and you're eating like shit and you're tired and you probably had beer spilled on you and 8 fans probably told you to go fuck your mother. But you're on stage, dude, and it's a privilege for you to be there. And it's a privilege. It's a privilege for me as a fan to go there too. And like it's a privilege for me to have a welcoming venue, whether it be the Roxy Inn or Preserving or like those are all privileges. I remember what like I know you brought up COVID and like our Instagram chat, but like I remember in COVID when like there was no shows. Bands weren't playing. Bands weren't touring. I couldn't see live music. We have all that back. Like, and I talk to a lot of musicians too about like communication. And I'm obviously guilty of this. You'll know where I'm going. But like communication is out there. Like we have more opportunities, more tools, except AI, but we have more tools to communicate back and forth, whether it be like for the positive or the negative. So I think like when we're in that space together, like musically, whether it's me artistically at the house or it's me and you at a show, like we should respect each other and like there should be like a level of respect. I don't like the pompous musicians who think they're above themselves because there's probably a musician who's better than you, who's more down to earth than you, and it's probably going to work harder than you. Just like there's somebody better than me. Like I'm nobody special. And that's the same sense. Like I've done things at shows I'm not proud of, but like I should do better. Like we all make mistakes, and I'm not holding End It like we should cancel them or like yeah, maybe the dude made a mistake. I don't know. Maybe he didn't. Maybe Banana Band made a mistake. But whatever. We should all be allowed to make mistakes. We're fucking surrounded by riffs. Like you fucking the whole world's catalog of music is at my fingertips. Like those are the things like there's kids getting blown up in a fucking another country. Rush is waiting 6 hours in line for gas. And like my biggest problem is like Metallica didn't like my video or Slayer. Like, yeah, whatever, you know? Like, let's just enjoy the time we have. Like, I realize life is just a big playground and I want to play on everything. I want to have as much fun as possible. And I think that that's what bands should do, you know, enjoy what you have because while you're out there working and grinding, don't miss why you're doing it. There's some fun there too, you know, let's have it. That's, I don't know, maybe I just fucking am some pompous asshole. I don't know, but that's my hope.
No, it's very good. But nonetheless, spoken like a true prodigy.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck I am. A mess.
Right.
I'm a mess.
A good mess. Come on. You're doing a good job out there too. So we support you, Mike, for all that you do. Right.
I appreciate it, man. I support you guys.
Thank you. But we have reached in my pockets right here. I guess you want to give it a shout out and then mention what social media you're on so they can check you out.
Yeah, I'm on all the big social medias. YouTube's my long form. I have like several playlists, couple different podcasts, or I got Distorted Dialogues, the interviews where I interview musicians, and the Distorted Discoveries is where you can discover your new music, whether it's indie rock or brutal grindcore. I also do the Fired Up for Friday, where I tell you what's dropping every Friday that you need to miss. But it's usually some underground stuff. Like I'm not announcing like Megadeth has an album coming out because you probably already know it's fucking Megadeth. So, and then like, you know, you can catch me on like Instagram and all your podcast channels, Spotify, iHeart, Apple, Instagram, TikTok, all that kind of shit. You know, Threads, I'm a little brutal on Threads. That's my shit posting site. So, if I offended you over there, my bad. I'm sorry.
I need a place to vent every now and again. So
You can only take so much in this world, man. I can't be positive all the time.
I try, but humanity reminds me to be a piece of shit at times. So yeah.
I do, but I want to thank you too, Brian, for reaching out, man, because sometimes we all get like down in the weeds in our little holes with blinders on. So thank you, dude. Thank you for reaching out. And I really hope we need to stay in touch, and I hope I catch you at some shows moving forward. Keep me posted where you're going.
I told you the one for Summer Slaughter. It should be after Labor Day, but don't take my word for it. You got to check it out and make your decision there too. So
I am, and I'll let you know later tonight once I look up the dates. I have a little calendar over there. I write everything down on so I don't forget.
That's good thinking. All right.
Yeah, man.
I'll close out like this real quick. So everyone, my guest today was Mike, aka the Metal Institute of Thrashology, a fellow Pittsburgher here too. So make sure you go hit up on the socials, and I guess streaming platforms that he is on. I know I mentioned iHeartRadio and Spotify, so go support his podcast there as well as his YouTube channel and everything. Let's go support our brother out there too. And Mike, you're always doing a great job out there, mate. So you stay strong and stay safe because you know there's one pretty fucked up world out there. Rock God. And lastly, hold up, strike a pose for the audience. Stay tuned, yo.